Hey, what's going on everyone? So recently guild quests were added to the game and now we have a more reliable income of guild coins. I used to just get like a maximum of 30 guild coins every day just from people using my shared heroes, but now I typically get around 400 every day from the guild quest. Today we're actually going to hit tier 7, which is the max tier by the way, and if you count my individual reward, I'll be pretty close to 900 guild coins just for today. So now that we have a more steady flow of this resource, I wanted to go over what I think you should buy from the guild store. And the short answer is nothing. I think you should just hoard all of your guild coins for the future. I think it's very likely that they will eventually add or replace characters in this store, because I don't really see them keeping Kelvin, Minor Clay, and Princess Storm in here for like the next year. Eventually, they are going to add a new character, and if that character is a really powerful one, I want to have enough guild coins saved up to immediately take that character to 5, 6, maybe even 7 stars, instead of having all that currency wasted on one of these other characters. So that was the short answer, and now I'm going to go into the long answer. I want to talk about each of these items individually. So starting with the gear pieces, you should just generally not ever purchase gear pieces from any of these stores. Typically it's just not worth it, and these resources can go towards a more valuable resource like a character with pretty much all of the stores here. Because you can farm any gear piece with energy in the campaigns, whereas you cannot farm any character in the campaigns like Brutus or Ash or Lloyd or even Willa, Kartovsky, including Princess Storm as well. So just as a general rule of thumb, avoid buying the gear pieces from any of the stores, and it's the same thing with the ability elixirs. You can also farm these from the later nodes in Monolith Waste, and there are also the challenges and a weekly event where you can get quite a bit of these as well, so just don't buy the elixirs either. Now, moving to the characters, let's first talk about Kelvin. Now, she is a pretty bad character, one of the worst in the game. Now, we do know that the first raid is planned to be focused around the space characters, and they plan to rework the entire space faction around that time, which they said should be in the early part of the second half of 2020, so maybe August or September is when we can expect that to happen. I think it's likely that Kelvin will get better, but right now she is one of the worst characters in the game. Her basic ability just does damage, it doesn't do anything else, and her damage stat isn't the highest to begin with. Her second ability can remove some pep. I mean, that might be useful for raids, but 40% pep on a 5-turn cooldown is pretty horrible. And then she has a chance to gain some grit up. She's just a really bad character all around. Minor Clay is also a pretty bad character, not quite as bad as Kelvin, but also very useless. His basic ability, again, just does damage, nothing else. His first special ability will grant some defense up and grit up, and his passive ability will give a grit bonus as well. And then his second special ability is really the only good thing about his kit. He'll grant attack up to himself for 2 turns, and he'll deal 70% damage to the target foe, and then a random hero will also gain attack up for 2 turns and assist for 100% damage. So a little assist there, but again, you would pretty much never want to use him in place of another character, even if you were running a full city team. And again, the devs did say they want to rework City at some point, but again, I don't think he's worth investing in right now. Finally, we have Princess Storm, who is the best out of the 3, and in my opinion, she's actually not a terrible character. She's pretty solid, she's got a lot of damage, she has some synergies with Courage, and her AoE can actually do a ton of damage. Now, the thing I don't like about this character is this ability right here, where she gains Taunt for 3 turns, and 1 stack of courage, and then she'll have a 100% chance to gain defense up to for 3 turns. The 3-turn taunt is the part that's not good. If you are going to use this character, you'll probably want to keep it at level 4 and not give her that extra turn for her taunt, because a longer taunt will actually not help in a King's Court team, because the thing that makes them so powerful is Jester, Burnibus, and Magisto. Burnibus and Jester trading their taunts back and forth, so you can't focus on one character for too long, and then Jester healing and Burnibus healing himself, and then Magisto there to heal as well. But if Storm has a 3-turn taunt up, enemies can just focus her until she's defeated, and then move on to the rest of the team. It would be much better to have a different attacker in her place, like maybe a Highwayman. I think she would actually be really viable if she didn't have this taunt, and when she's under AI control, she will be using this pretty often. And again, like I said earlier, it is very likely that one or all of these characters will be reworked in the future. Maybe Kelvin will become the best character in the game, and if that does happen, it would be much better to have all of that currency saved up that you can then spend on her than have it wasted on Storm or Clay if they don't get their reworks for a while. So it was a little bit of a simpler video today, but I hope this still helped you out. Alright, thanks for watching.